Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm a sleep physician. And if you have insomnia, this channel is for you. Today, we're going to talk about core sleep, the minimum amount of sleep that we're built to survive on during times of stress, and why it's important to understand this concept when you're trying to overcome insomnia. Hi there, and thank you for tuning back in. So nice having you back here. And if you're new to the channel, of course, a big welcome to you. As mentioned, we're going to talk today about core sleep. I have wanted to do this video for a while. I think it's a really important one. And just to give it some context, I do get these two questions quite a lot. People, particularly that have started doing CBTi, these techniques to sleep better, particularly like bedtime restrictions, spending less time in bed, that ask me, we're kind of come to this realization after a few days or so that they're just sleeping a few hours, but are okay. Typically, I get an email saying like, I'm only sleeping like 5 hours, but I feel okay, kind of surprised. And that's one. And the other one is people who are like, I don't understand this. Like, I'm sleeping like 3.5 hours day after day, and like I just don't get more sleep, and like kind of frustration. And in that context, I want to talk about core sleep. So what is that? Well, typically we humans estimate sleeping about 7 hours, but we really mostly sleep about 6 hours. That's kind of our baseline. Most people that sleep well overestimate and again think they sleep about 7 hours. So that's kind of like a baseline. Now, sleep can be a vulnerable state, meaning if you look at it from kind of an evolutionary standpoint, we have kind of a lower threshold for reacting to sounds, and we are kind of vulnerable, so therefore, when we are facing some kind of potential threat, we are kind of built to sleep less and have more, a superficial sleep, so we can react to things that may be threatening to us. Now, that being said, even if we, were facing like an invasion of a tribe that we're on enemy terms with, we don't go down to zero. It's not like we would stop sleeping at all. So sleep is important, obviously, particularly for like memory function and getting rid of memories that we don't like, creating new memories and cognitive functions like that. So we cannot completely eliminate it, even if that would be a advantage to us. But we can like decrease it to a kind of sustainability level. So studies have shown that if somebody sleeps like 4 hours or more, they can sustain that indefinitely. Like somebody could really sleep for about 4 hours per night and kind of muddle through and just like go indefinitely on 4 hours. That is kind of core sleep. That's the minimum amount of sleep we can sustain some kind of existence on. If somebody goes below that, goes to like, 3 hours per night, that is not sustainable. There is going to be a major crash. So core sleep is somewhere around 4 hours. And that explains why a lot of people just aren't getting more than 4 hours, like because they are so stressed and anxious and tense and think so much about sleep that they're getting just that core sleep, just those 4 hours. And the sad thing, the problematic thing, of course, is that in historically going down to core sleep could make sense, because there was an external threat. The threat in our society mostly has kind of become internal. Like we are afraid of not sleeping, and that becomes the threat that brings us down to this like core level sleep. Hopefully just talking about it will be helpful. And also going back to the other example, like some people say like, I'm sleeping just about 5 hours and I feel surprisingly okay. Well, we are sort of built to be able to sleep on like a core of 4 hours. So if you get 5 hours or 5.5, that's not that far off. So it's not entirely surprising that we can feel pretty okay on like 5.5 hours. So that was a little bit about core sleep. I hope you found this helpful. And I just want to point this out, which I often have to do that. By no means do I think it's a good thing to sleep 4 hours per night. That feels terrible. It's not great, but I'm just talking about it so that, I hope this can explain things that will make it easier for you to get the full amount of sleep that you need to feel fantastic. So that said, I hope to have each and every one of you back here soon. If you have any question, as always, leave a comment or send me an email at daniel@insomniainsight.co. Until then, bye-bye.